Dream it, believe it, and build it. Namaskar, welcome to Next IS. I hope you are doing well. In this video, we will cover major headlines of the Hindu, Indian Express, and Press Information Bureau. So, without wasting any time, let's start today's discussion. Now, delegates from nearly 170 countries failed to agree on a framework to eliminate plastic pollution during the fifth round of intergovernmental negotiation in South Korea. A significant divide existed between countries advocating for cutting plastic production to eliminate waste and those opposing it. The European Union emphasized the need for measures to reduce plastic production to sustainable levels and address problematic plastic products. Countries like Saudi Arabia and Kuwait opposed the push to cut virgin plastic polymer production, citing economic concerns. India also opposed regulating primary plastic polymer production due to developmental implications. And do you know, friends, India has banned short lived plastic products and implemented a robust extended producer responsibility regime on plastic packaging. India has called for a critical balance between preventing plastic pollution and affecting sustainable development, especially of developing countries. Now, recently, Telangana Chief Minister announced that Rythu Bharosa funds will be deposited into a bank accounts of eligible farmers after Sankranti. Talking about Rythu Bandhu scheme, it is a key initiative in Telangana and it provides 5,000 per acre into land-owning farmers each crop season. The scheme is designed to support farmers' initial investment needs, helping them avoid falling into debt. Farmers can use the funds for seeds, fertilizer, labor cost, or personal consumption. Next article talks about Vadhavan port, which is a greenfield port and it is under construction in Maharashtra. It is expected to be double India's container trade upon completion by 2034. It will have 4 terminals operational by 2029 and 5 more by 2034, significantly increasing India's container capacity. It is being developed by Vadhavan Port Project Limited, which is a joint venture between Jawaharlal Nehru Port Authority and Maharashtra Maritime Board. Now, India has made significant progress in controlling the HIV epidemic, with new infections in 2023 being 44% lower than in 2010 and AIDS-related death declining by 79%. However, HIV prevalence remains high in states like Mizoram, Nagaland, and Manipur. High-risk groups such as women sex workers, transgender people, truckers, and migrants continue to be the most affected. Talking about HIV virus, it is a virus that attacks the body's immune system, specifically targeting white blood cells, which weakens the immune response. This makes individuals more susceptible to diseases such as tuberculosis, infections, and certain cancers. And AIDS is the most advanced stage of HIV infection. Now, government is developing a national policy to boost female labor force participation, focusing on creating a supportive care economy. Care economy includes both paid and unpaid care activities such as childcare, cooking, cleaning, healthcare, and education. The move follows a World Bank report highlighting a significant drop in female labor force participation after marriages in India. The upcoming policy will explore initiatives like core scaling packages for caregivers and improving childcare facilities for women, particularly in the informal sector. Now, Supreme Court mandated prior section to prosecute public servants under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Talking about prior section provision, under Section 197 of the CRPC requires government approval before prosecuting a public servant for offences committed while discharging official duties. This provision is intended to protect public servants from unnecessary prosecution, but it does not apply to serious crimes such as sexual offences or human trafficking. It ensures that public servants are not unfairly prosecuted for acts done in their official capacity. And recent Supreme Court verdict extended the application of Section 197 subclause 1 to the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Additionally, under Prevention of Corruption Act, prior sanction is also needed for prosecuting public servants for offences like bribery, and an amendment in 2018 introduced Section 17A, which further requires prior approval from the government before investigating decisions made by public officials in the discharge of their duties. Now, Prime Minister of India attended the 59th All India Conference of Directors General of Police in Bhubaneswar. He expressed concern about digital fraud, cyber crimes, and potential AI technologies like deepfakes to disturb society. He urged police leadership to turn these challenges into opportunities by leveraging AI and India's aspirations. He emphasized smart policing mantra, which includes strategic, meticulous, adaptable, reliable, and transparent. Now, first edition of the joint tabletop exercise Sinbex between Indian Army and Cambodian Army commenced in Pune. It is a planning exercise focused on conducting joint counter-terrorism operations under United Nations Chapter 7. It will address the establishment of joint training task force for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, as well as planning of city operations. Now, 14th Asia Oceania Meteorological Satellite Users Conference will be held from December 4 to 6 in New Delhi. It will be hosted by India Meteorological Department and Ministry of Earth Sciences. The conference will include oral and poster presentations, panel discussions, and training workshops on applying satellite data for meteorological and climatological purposes. And do you know, friends, Asia Oceania Meteorological Satellite User Conference was established in 2010 and it has become a key event for meteorologists, satellite operators, and earth scientists globally, focusing on applications of satellite in weather, climate, and environmental fields. Now, 13th edition of joint military exercise Agni Warrior between Indian Army and Singapore Armed Forces concluded. It aimed to enhance mutual understanding of drills and procedure to achieve joint operations functions as multinational force under United Nations Charter. Now, 16th Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification will begin in Saudi Arabia. This marks the first time conference is being hosted in West Asia, and it will see India and representatives from 197 nations participate in discussions focused on combating desertification and land degradation. This year's theme is Our Land, Our Future. Now, Union Health Ministry has asked states and union territories to classify snakebite cases and deaths as notifiable disease under the relevant health legislation. This move is a part of efforts to address snake bites as a significant public health concern, especially affecting farmers and tribal populations. The ministry has launched National Action Plan for Prevention and Control of Snakebite e-venoming by 2030 with the goal of halving snakebite related deaths by 2030. So with this, let's conclude today's discussion. Thanks for listening, and for regular updates, you can follow us on various social media platforms.